guys, so I'm just going to run you through what you're going to get in the contents of this kit before we start the installation. Now, all our camera kits do come with 3 years warranty, and it's a replacement warranty. Should you have any issues, we will send you out a replacement, no problems at all. We get next to no faults. I think it's about a 1% fault rate. So if you ever have a problem, let us know. We'll replace it immediately. You don't have to return it to us. And so check it out. So this is the new 70 series Land Cruiser, and this is what's going to come inside the kits. All our kits now are going to come with a mounting bracket. Now this is a camera mounting bracket that we 3D print for you. It does come with the bolts for complete adjustability front and rear, and you can also get your rotational access. And this is just a mounting bracket to help you from the back. It actually comes with a bolt included in that. So if you actually undo that, you'll be able to see the bolt hole, and it's just a hex head nut that is 10 millimeters, okay? And it comes with the screws on the back here, and that's where the camera is going to press in should you wanted to use this type of mounting, okay? So that comes with the kit. What you're also going to get is the split tubing or conduit. This is just for running cables front to rear to keep it factory looking. You're going to get some of your fitting and installation parts, which are some double-sided tape, some screw, some little clips to hold those screws, some electrical putty there so you can do your waterproof sealing when you come through into the cabin. It's going to come with the cable ties that you need to do the installation. The camera itself, an 8-meter extension cable, so it's long enough for if you have the dual cab or the single cab or anything custom made. It doesn't matter. It comes with I think it's about total 9 meters all up, so you've got no problem. It's custom made with waterproof connectors at the rear, and we build this specifically for our Toyotas. So that's a Toyota connector that we build. And here is the wiring adapter that's specific for this vehicle. So this is the 70 series Land Cruiser. So this one for the 2024, which is the new facelift, is going to plug into the driver's kick panel. And that is just simply a T-piece harness that plugs into our camera, and it will install up the front of the vehicle. This plugs into the camera at the rear, and this is the camera itself. So I'm quickly going to run you through the camera as well, because there's a couple of things to know. It's a very versatile camera. It's actually got a IP67 waterproof rating. It's a metal housing. It comes with plastic over the cover here, so just make sure you pull that off and clean the lens before you mount it. It's completely adjustable angle on the sides, stainless steel screws, so you won't have a problem. And it simply plugs into the rear there. And if you're using the mounting bracket, you would just push it in through the rear. So a little bit hard to do here with one hand, but as you can see quickly, that bracket would mount directly into that camera. But you don't have to mount it that way, okay guys? And I'm going to show you that further in the video. But just while we're on it, the loops here on the camera itself, you've got a couple of loops, okay? Green, white, blue. Now these do 3 distinct things. If you cut the loop, if you cut the green loop, it turns the guidelines on the screen on and off. If you cut the blue loop, it flips the screen vertically. White, if you cut it, will switch the screen horizontally. Sorry, getting a bit tongue-tied there. But if you cut them and you don't like it or it's wrong, you can always join them back together, so you don't have to stress about that too much as well. Now, I'm going to show you how to mount this up in the next portion of this video. So that's the guide to the contents and what's going to be included in the kit. So your first step to installation is you're going to want to remove all the tread plates that you need to. It's only these bottom 2. You can use a 10 millimeter bolt here, but you can just use your hands as well. I find it easier to use my hands. But when you do this, just pull from the back here and make sure you feel for the pressure, okay? You want to leverage here as close to the trivet as possible, because that avoids damaging and breaking things. You know, you've got all the pressure directly at the clip, okay? And you just sort of put your hand under it and pull up towards you. Very simple and easy to do. You can do it from the front side. There we go. Okay, once you remove those panels, check that all the clips are there. Sometimes you get the clips stuck in here because they do slide out, okay? They do slide out of here very easily, okay? If you do slide them out, you're just gonna slide them back in and just make sure they're located there, ready to be reinstalled at the end. We're gonna put that down, put it somewhere it's not gonna get scratched. Now down here in the kick panel, this is where our installation is gonna happen, and you can see here, this is the 10 millimeter bolt. and it's a little lug nut. So you can do it two ways. You can use the socket, and anti-clockwise will undo it. Personally, I just like the feel and use my hands, but you can use the 10mm, and that's what it looks like there. Okay, very simple and easy to undo. Make sure you put that somewhere you're not going to lose it. Okay, when you want to pull this kick panel off, you're just going to pull it towards you. Okay, just pull from the top and the bottom and pull it towards you. So guys, I'm going to show you the two different ways you can actually mount this camera. This is my vehicle here in particular. I've decided to go with the mounting bracket just because I don't want to drill any holes, and I just thought it was a little bit easier. And my tray already had holes in it. So the mounting bracket allowed us to put the bolt in, mount it up, tighten it really tight and mount it. But if you didn't have this style of tray or this type of angle, whilst this is completely vertically adjustable for angle and internal rotation is there as well, some people just don't have these types of lip, depending on how their spare tire is. But you can mount it a different way. So because that's just a bracket that comes with our cameras themselves are waterproof already, you can actually mount them directly on the vehicle. So you could technically, if you wanted to, just mount a camera like that. And that would be a different direction. If you wanted to mount it this way, you could mount it that way, or even horizontally. Because we do have those three options to change the image horizontally and vertically, you can mount it however you like. So in this circumstance, if I'm using the bracket, it's mounted like this. So I cut the blue loop, all right? But if I was to mount it like this, there's no cutting of any loops are required because it didn't need the vertical orientation switch, okay? So that explains how you would do that, guys. Once you've mounted the camera up and you've done all your split tubing, as you can see here, I've used the original split tubing because I just really love that factory feel, and the factory loom has the split tubing. So that's why we put this on here. And we're just going to run the cables, and it's really easy to do because this vehicle has so much room. But we're just going to follow the original wiring limbs, and it's really easy to do. And it just comes under here. It comes behind this beam. As you can see, I've just left it hanging here so you can see where it comes. It's on the other side of that beam. You can cable tie it to the loom. And as you come round, you can see here, I've come out here, and that's where it will come out. And you're just going to cut these cable tie tags off as you use them. And you're going to run that loom with the factory loom all the way to the front, just to here, to the kick panel. And that's how easy it's going to be to do it on this vehicle. And we're going to show you in just a moment how to pull these two panels off. But we're just going to come up through the floor directly here. There's a rubber grommet underneath the mat. Once you've removed the panels, it's really easy to just lift up the carpet and move it out of the way. The Land Cruisers are built for versatility and strength, so there's plenty of room. Once you sort of pull that up, it just lifts right up and it'll clip back down. This is the grommet you want to run up to. You can just push it out and it'll fall to the floor, and you can grab it, or you can reach under, and it's really easy to get to. There we go. And you can pull it off. And that's where we're going to run our cable to. As you can see here, we've got our cable ready to go. Now we're just going to cut a hole in the grommet. Once you've removed the grommet, the best way to cut a hole is to actually get some snips, some scissors or something like that, like this, and just bend the grommet. They're just rubber. Cut a snip in it. That'll give you a hole to go through. It just sort of breaks the center of the seal. If you need to, spin it around, give it another good snip, and that will give you enough to push the cables through. Once you've cut the hole in the grommet, you want to pay attention to the orientation of the grommet. So we're going to install it this way from the outside up into the floor. So you want to make sure when you push this cable through, you push it through from the bottom or the front face of what I would call the front face, and push it through your cables. Because when you step back, you're coming from the outside up into the vehicle. Now I'm just going to do that off camera and I'll show you how it looks. So once you've completed that, it should look like this. Very simple, very easy to do. And then we're going to pop that up through the floor as well. As you can see there, I'm just going to grab it. Whoa. There we go. Gosh, guys, it's hard to do with one hand. And you pull the cable all the way through. We give you plenty of cable, so if you have the dual cab or the single cab, it's not going to be an issue. And we do have a putty sealer, so we can make this waterproof again. And the reason we snip the center of the hole is to keep the structural integrity of the hole itself. Okay, so as you can see, it should look like this. And what we give you is this tacky putty sealer. This is a waterproof insulation sealer, and we're just going to put that around the grommet. Once you've used the installation putty, it should look something like this. It's completely elastic, so you'll be able to reseal it all the time if you want to use it for additional cables. What we also do is we use our Tesa tape and we cloth tape up the excess. You can use any tape for this, otherwise we do have this cloth tape available on our website. And this is what the cable is going to look like when we finish our installation. We're just going to pop that into the kick panel. And this is where our adapter goes for the reverse camera. And it plugs in just in the kick panel here. So you can actually click this little button here and unlock it, and you can see directly here, there's a little locking tab. So you're just gonna press that locking tab and pull it out. So it's actually mounted like this in the vehicle, directly in. You're gonna press that and pull the cables out. That's where our adapter is gonna plug in. So the next step is grab the wiring adapter out. It's gonna look like this. And this is just a little T-harness and an adapter to make our camera plug into the factory looms. Now it's all factory fitted, so you don't have to worry about voiding any warranties. It's all plug and play. There's no wiring needed to do. As you can see there, our camera will just plug in. You'll then move to the one at the rear here that you've just unplugged. You can only go one way, male to female. That will clip in, and then this will plug into the original position back on the car. So you can see here, returning it to the normal position, clicks in. Make sure you get those clicks. And then all you're gonna do is return the kick panel back the same way you removed it. When you're returning the panels, it's super simple to do. You're just gonna orientate this hole with the hole that you removed it from, just on the back, and it just slides directly in. So you push it forward, and then when you get down into this corner, you're just gonna orientate that so you can sort of put your hand in and feel it. There we go. And as you can see there, the screw's done. This is the little scrivet that we removed before. These just push on. So they're a 10mm, as you can see here, like we removed it, but you're just gonna press it. They're a press on, okay? You just push it all the way in. Make sure it all lines up, nice and neat. Yes, looks good. There we go. See, that wasn't all the way in. Nice and neat. A quick tip when you're restoring the side tread plates, just make sure all the little scrivets here or the little connectors are actually in their correct position before you slot it on. It just makes it so much easier, and when you put it in, it'll just slide and sit where you need it to sit. Just push it, okay? Just go along, push it along. You know where their clips are because you just looked at them. Push them in. And that's it. And that's the completed install. The first time you turn your vehicle on, as soon as you put it in reverse, the camera will be working. Guidelines are optional. You can actually turn them on and off. There is a setting on the camera at the rear where you can actually turn them off. Complete angles are adjustable. The AutoChimp Electronics camera also allows you to adjust the image. You can reverse it horizontally and vertically depending on where you mounted the camera at the back of your vehicle. Some people don't have trays, some people may have canopies, so this is useful in those circumstances. The unit will continue to load in the background, and the reverse camera will automatically work every time you put it in reverse.